step number one is to recognize that if you're talking to a business, they are interested in the bottom line. What are you bringing to the table that is going to help them or their people or their company produce more, make more money, be more successful in business? So the first mistake is often talking like a hypnotherapist or a stage hypnotist, and that's easily corrected. Just remembering, what is it I'm bringing to the company that will help the company make more money? I would, at the end of my presentation, say, I'm often asked if I have any product to sell. Of course I do. Here are my book, my DVD, my videos or whatever, and I'd be happy to sign a copy of the book if you buy it at the back. And before I leave, I love doing this. And if you happen to know anyone that brings in speakers into their organization, I'd consider it a great personal favor if you would refer me. Now, the key words were, don't be shy. I don't know why, but those work. Don't be shy. And you have to kind of help them. If anybody in your family works for a company or a group that brings in speakers, if you have a friend, a neighbor, somebody you go to church with, I would consider it a favor if you give me their name. I promise I'll contact them, and I promise I'll let you know how the call went. Because if they liked your presentation, they're going to want to hear from you. And so that kind of motivated them. I would often walk out with 8, 10, 12 business cards or referrals. I always tried to turn one talk into 3. And that was how I ended up developing and building a business that got to the point where they were calling me and I didn't have to call them. Job number 3. Right now, I'm going to do a hypnosis demonstration, and it's going to relate to the business. This was the last piece of the puzzle for me, because for a while I had worked out the formula and I was doing hypnosis demonstrations, but I wasn't really relating the hypnosis to what I had talked about. I assumed the audience would make the connection that if I had just talked to them about the image that they're carrying in their mind and the way they see themselves, and then I'm showing them hypnosis where they're changing that image, I assumed the group would make the leap. And my wife at the time, she's brilliant, and she said, I don't think the audience is really making the connection. And I was like, how could they not? So I remember the day I did it. It's actually on the net. I did it on the presentation at the Grand Ole Opry, which is a big format. It's about 1,200 people there. And it was for Prudential Insurance. And it was the first time that when I did the hypnosis, every time I did something hypnotically, like your arm is stiff and rigid like a bar steel, catalepsy, I would say, here's how that relates to what you're doing in business. The person who can't find their shoe, you can laugh about that, but how many times have you walked around not being able to find your car keys, or your eyeglasses are up on your head?
Glasses, yeah.
Right. And it's the same thing that many of you are doing when it comes to asking for referrals. You don't like it, so you blank it out of your mind, and you're with a client and you don't even think about asking them for referrals until you're driving back to the office. So I would take every hypnotic phenomena and relate it to something they were doing in their business. And that was the day it all went crazy. That was the first day that people came up to me afterwards and said, you've changed my life. Or, that was the most amazing thing I have ever seen. It was that last piece of the puzzle that kicked it to another level altogether. It would have been 1996. I was invited to speak to a very prestigious convention. It's called $1 Million Roundtable for insurance agents. It's 5,000 people. It is an international convention. It's huge. And they gave me 55 minutes to speak. And I knew I was in trouble because I did not have a plan for doing the front end, the induction, and the hypnosis demonstration in 55 minutes. Prior to that, I was doing 90, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I had to condense what I was doing. And the problem was the induction. I was doing a fairly standard induction where you bring a number of people up, throw people back until you find the ones you want, which is what a lot of people do. I knew that I had to come up with something different. The good news was they told me in October that I would be speaking in June. So I had 6, 7, 8 months to work on it. And I obsessed. I just, in my mind, all kinds of different ways. What could I do? And I finally stumbled into just the way of looking at it. If you're looking to save time, you can just roll right into the simplest suggestions and then move into the more complicated ones. Those people live in hypnosis.
Wasn't that absolutely fantastic? I'm sure that you found a lot of information in this very short video you just saw, maybe like 4 or 5, 6 minutes, however long it was. But that is not all. You can have access to the entire presentation of this amazing speaker, plus 40 more other presentations and speakers, and you can have access for life. You can have access to the video recording, to the audio recording, to the swipe files, to the transcripts, to all of the bonuses and the special gifts that all of the speakers and presenters and also the organizers are offering in the Premium Pass package. So if you like this, if you want more, make sure to sign up below for the Premium Pass and have lifetime access to everything. I'm sure it'll be one of the best investments you've ever made in your life, in yourself, in your practice, in your health, and also with working with clients. So go ahead, click on the button below, sign up for the Premium Pass, and we'll see you on the other side.